play a part, something in front of cameras, something with lights, something to be on TV, you know, and I had a massive passion for that.
A character that was completely separate from anything that I was used to.
I found that character to be quite fascinating.
Everything about the film is magic, it's make-believe, and much of what you hear and see in the film is being created. I had lack of resources and manpower, but one of my policies is to make something out of nothing.
Action!
Ayan, I have something that belongs to you. Here's your ball.
Action! Action!
ভালো আছি বাচ্চার
We're storytellers.
How was that? And here we go.
I can proudly say that nothing in the film has been copied from anywhere. It's all my own ideas, it's all fresh and it's all coming from my own brain. However, when you're watching the film, if you do think that there are bits and pieces that look similar to another production, then it might be all just a coincidence, nothing else.
একলগে দুইজন ছুটো যাইরাম আশা করি সবর ভাল লাগবো পালা না লাগলেও জুড়ে তালি মারবাই ডং পাইছো নি অত কষ্ট করি বানাইরাম আমরা
Sania is go camera lenses fatailta.
আরে ক্যামেরা দেখবা ওলান কাপের এখন জালান দেখরা ওলান কাপের কলক ঢুকে ওলান কাপ বক বলতায় লগে কল যায় কাপবো হা ওয়েট এন্ড সি
Always thought that when you play a role, the more lines you have or the more you speak, that's what made the role. But actually, this taught me that actually it's more about, I think it's much harder to play a character that has not so much to say, because it's more about the character's presence. During the process of the film, I got the opportunity to work with a number of different actors, and it's really good to see how everyone sort of developed their roles and how all of our characters then gelled both as actors, professionals, and also within the film as well. And some of the people that I got to work with, I have worked with them previously, so it was great to work with them again. And I think it's like we had a lot of fun during filming.
That sounds quite serious.
Action.
Then one day.
Look at the voice.
Nadine bhai, apni apne girlfriend ke liye Okay, just
Okay, rolling, still rolling.
Action!
Don't laugh. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Rolling. Action.
There are many fools like yourself, Jaffa, that are that.
Okay, no problem.
What is it? Go, Vapas.
Still rolling.
What is it? What is it?
Many times, many of the scenes have been improvised on location, and a lot of the times I didn't even know what was gonna happen before I went on the location physically.
Mola, 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 Mola,
শরীরটা ভালো নেই যত দিন যাচ্ছে
I've seen some bits and pieces of it. Even the trailer, it sends shivers down my spine because it's got the music, like, you know, it's, I can't even explain it. Like, you know, you have to watch it yourself.
When I released the final trailer, it created a lot of hype. People were eagerly waiting for the film after seeing the final trailer, and I received a lot of feedback, good ones, through email, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, texts, etc. etc. People were even calling me personally to tell me how much they actually liked the trailer and how much they're waiting for the film to be released. But then again, I was scared because that had put more responsibility on my shoulder.
Stay away from my path.
I am not here to obey any jinns.
Jinniya is not really a horror film, although it automatically falls under the horror genre. All I wanted to do is make a film based on jinn possession. So whatever effects or horror things you will see in the film has been done in order to tell the story.
You know, when I see like red eyes, I always like this kind of like horror-y kind of stuff, but it's not really horror, like, you know, there's heads being chopped off, nothing like that, but something, you know, spookiness. And my daughter loves horror movies, I have to say.
When people hear that this is a horror-based film, they automatically think that there's going to be some kind of zombies walking across the scenes, but this is not the case.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You stupid, useless human being. You haven't invited me. You've invited death.
My posters and trailers are based on the theme, on the story of the film. They are not made to make the actors happy. I have stuck to the subject of the film, stuck to the theme of the film. My trailer and posters revolve around the story and the main theme of the film, not around the actors or to make them happy.
Camera roll. Action. Rolling. Action.
I have not come in this field to become a superstar or Steven Spielberg. I have come in this field because I want to be an artist, because I love arts.
Start walking. And start talking.
রুবিনা তোর কথা মতো জাফর ইদ্রিসের
তোমার dialogues important না আসো
হ্যাঁ ওকে হ্যাঁ ওকে
I have asked Monju to record some vocals for me in order to dub one of the scenes. And the vocals that she had sent me via email, I was listening to them and I couldn't stop laughing all night long because she had recorded the lines in many different ways using different expressions, and some of them were very funny.
I want. Why have you called me here?
Why have you called me here?
Want.
Actually, I don't know a lot about too much about jinns, but obviously I understand that it's a supernatural force and it can kind of have like a negative influence in people's lives.
Action. Oi! Oi! Go! This is the bruise from the action.
I had a great experience working with Romie Ali.
I take my responsibility very seriously. Although I'm the director of the film, I'm also the lead actor, and as an actor I try to be as natural as possible. As a director, I am the captain of the ship. People have put their trust in me, so it is my responsibility to save their images. All my actors have done a brilliant job, especially Monju Haq. She had been through a lot of difficulties and hardships. One of the hardships was to wear the same pair of contact lenses many times, which infected her eyes.
Yeah, okay, leave it like that. Okay.
You want some more?
Yeah, please.
It was a really exciting role to play because it gave me the opportunity to become a character that was completely separate from anything that I was used to. So it's about the whole, the costume, the contact lenses, and the great thing about it is that I had input into how the character was also going to develop.
Action. Okay, head back down again. Action. This time do it a bit quick. Action. 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 Head down. Keep it. Look up.
So the Jinniya is basically a supernatural force that interferes and plays havoc in the life of this family. Obviously, I don't want to give too much of the story away because you need to come and watch the film.
শুনেছি সেই ফরেস্টটা না শুনেছি সেই ফরেস্টটা না না কিছু হ্যাঁ আমি সরি তোমাকে তোমাকে খুঁজতে যখন ফরেস্টের ওখানে গেলাম না ফরেস্টের ভেতর গেলাম সরি তোমাকে খুঁজতে যখন
After writing the script, I had to think about the costumes of all the characters in the film. There are 3 characters whom had to wear different costumes than all the other characters, and they are Jafar Idris, Kalusha, and Jinniya herself. And the very first costume that I had bought for the Jafar Idris character, after trying it on him, he looked more like a magician than a jinn expert. So it was a bad idea. We had to change that costume and get something else which was more appropriate for his character.
And after wearing it, actually, it transformed me from a normal guy, from a regular person, to this character that Romie visioned. And he saw me in the costume and said, "Kibrima, this is it. This is what I wanted."
I think when we first looked at the costume, I mean when Romie first provided the costume, we decided that maybe that wasn't the best fit, and then we worked together to find an alternative, which I think actually worked out really great in the end, which you'll see in the film.
The costume makes all the difference, you see. It puts you, mentally, psychologically, puts you into that kind of mind frame. Because once you wear any kind of costume up, I think probably goes with the uniform as well. So when you put certain uniform on, certain costume on, you actually become that person. You know, it's not a character anymore. It's more like real person. So I feel the same. I think, I hope to think. I remember we were shooting in Walthamstow Forest, and cast and crew, everybody went down there, and suddenly it started to rain. So Romie was quite worried, and he was actually worried for us that in the rain, how would we feel? Would we want to continue? But Monju was very determined and said, "Romie, don't worry. I mean, I'm here. I mean, if everybody else is okay, I want to basically do this. Come rain, hail, storm, thunder, you know, Romie, at the end of the day, he just wants to get his work done, and we, as an actor, as an artist, we're always there to make sure that he gets what he wants." The Jafar Idris character is a jinn expert, like an exorcist, but on a very interesting, exciting level. I found that character to be quite fascinating and very unique.
No, we
That was good. That was good.
These flashback scenes that I have in the film, which goes back in the year 1990, I had to be very careful while shooting those scenes because obviously back then what people used to wear were different. If an actor was seen carrying an iPhone on the shot, then it would have been a big mistake because back then there was no mobile phone and certainly not an iPhone. So these things had to be taken into consideration while shooting. Doing a flashback scene is not easy, especially if you have to go back many years because obviously things had been different back then and you have to be careful in order to make it look more realistic.
This is the very first time we've met in this manner. Let's not talk about hatred.
আমি কনসেন্ট্রেট ওদিকে চলে যাচ্ছে আওয়াজ হচ্ছে না
না বুঝতে পারছি না
হ্যাঁ
Okay, Carol, look shocked. Okay, light slightly in. Slightly more higher. Go ahead.
Jinniya is a very unique project because the subject is quite unusual. As a filmmaker, it's very challenging. So Romie always likes to take challenges, and that's what I admire about him. He likes to take challenges, and he likes overcoming obstacles, and he thrives on it. That's the best thing about Romie. It's always exciting to work with him because he'll always throw you in the deep end. And he would like to basically see how you come out of it. I try to give my best shot. I'm just hoping that I fulfilled Romie's expectation. So eagerly waiting to see the entire production. And the entire casting crew has done a wonderful job. I've seen some rushes. I've seen some promos and trailers that he made. So it looks absolutely amazing.
কি করে এইসব গতকাল রাত পর্যন্ত দেখলাম ঠিক আছে এখন তো দেখি পাগল
When I was discussing the Jinn character with my team, they said to me that the real Jinn don't do these things. So I said to them, I am not making a documentary film on the real Jinn character. This is a film which requires a bit of exaggeration. And if I was to make a film based on the real Jinn, and if I was to show the real Jinn character in my film, it wouldn't be a film worth watching because the real Jinn would be boring in the film. And I don't want to make my audience fall asleep. So obviously a bit of exaggeration in the Jinn character is required so that the audience is entertained.
Scream. Run.
don't say that.
Okay, go.
Massive thank you to Romie Bhai and the crew to giving me this opportunity to play a small part in it. It has been a life-changing experience because I've never done something like this before, and it's given me a lot of encouragement to do others.
I have taken some new actors in Jinniya and they have performed very well.
To be honest, I wanted to actually work with the film crew, seeing what they do, like working with the lights and maybe just carrying their bags and stuff, right? But to actually star in a movie, it was like, wow, this is my opportunity. So I remember I made contact with Romie Bhai that evening, and I said, hi, my name is Shah. I got the message that you're looking for somebody. And he goes, yeah. So I made a time to go and see him for the shot, and I went there sort of on time, so I didn't want to be late. It was like me going to a work interview. And it felt like that as well because I was excited, but I was very nervous because I've never met Romie Bhai before, don't know how he's like. I only spoke to him, I think it was over Facebook Messenger or something, or WhatsApp, I can't remember. So I went to meet him, and as soon as he kind of came out the car, he had this vibe about him, like chilled out, a nice guy. I'm a good sense of judge of character. It's weird, I always say that, I know somebody from the first minute I speak to them, but got the vibe that Romie Bhai is a cool guy, right? So we had a conversation before, and I said, what's my role going to be? And he goes, this is what you're going to be, and had a fair idea. didn't know what the actual scene was going to be. And I remember standing there and the camera's there and the people are all around and they're obviously waiting for you to do your part. And I remember, even though I was wearing a bandana so you couldn't see the sweat coming out, was definitely some sweat there. And it was like action, and I completely forgot my lines.
Romie wanted to take some drone shots, so we went to this location, and the location was in a graveyard. Usually graveyard is like very dull and it's not really very interesting, usually graveyard, but that particular graveyard was actually, it was like a film set. And wherever I turned around, I looked around, it seemed like it's a huge big budget set has been made for Romie's Jinniya film. And the drone footage came out amazing at the end. So another amazing experience with Romie, the graveyard.
We were filming inside the Rippleside Cemetery, where I was supposed to run, and the cameraman was following me from my back. So I was running and running and running, and at one point I felt as if someone or something had pushed me from my back. Now, it might just be my imagination, could just be my thought, but this is how I felt. So after the push, I fell on the ground and I hurt both of my knees. I got up and it was very painful and I saw blood coming out. Both of my knees were scratched as well. And Kibriya, who was doing the filming, he came to me and said, "See Romie, I told you, you should not upset the jinn or else this is what's going to happen." And I said to him, "How did I upset the jinn?" And he said, "Well, the fact that you're making a film on them, the entire jinn community must have got very upset and pissed with you, and they decided to come and kill you in your locations."
During the shot, we didn't realize how actually on the big screen the graveyard would look like. I looked at the monitor, but it wasn't quite clear or visible because it was a very small screen that I was shooting in. So when we came back, we viewed it in a large monitor. The graveyard actually turned out to be, the shots turned out to be quite amazing because it was very cinematic. The whole entire the positioning of the graves, the color of the graves, the looks of the graves, and Romie bang in the middle of it, and he's doing what he's doing. It just turned out to be something else. It's quite scary actually.
জিনরা খুব দীর্ঘায়ু হয়, বয়স বাড়ার সাথে সাথে তারা আরো শক্তিশালী হয়। জিন মানুষের প্রেমে পড়তে পারে।
Stay away from my path.
I am not here to obey any jinns.
I like creating impact through my work rather than doing table talks. I am not in this field to become another drop in the ocean. I have come in this field to create impact through my work. In life you don't get everything the best, but another key to success is to make best out of what you already have.
I've started doing my own stuff, and the thing is I keep Romie Bai as my mentor.
It's nice having people giving me that kind of respect. A lot of the time people send me their stuff for me to give them my opinions, my judgment and my suggestions. As a viewer, in general, I can give my opinion or suggestion, but in order for me to judge their work, I don't think I'm in a position to judge other people's work because I am still a learner myself. Good. আচ্ছা নিচে থেকে আমি উপরে চলতেছে? I remember filming part of a song in Victoria Park where I needed a lot of greenery around me. Basically, I needed trees around me with a lot of leaves on them. Basically, summertime I needed for that particular shot. So I shot that scene, but straight after that I needed the leaves to fall. Basically, trees with no leaves. Winter time I'm talking about. I need. So I had to wait 6 more months for that to happen in order for me to go back and do the rest of the filming. And then when that happened, I went back to Victoria Park to do the remaining filming. Then I saw like there's some kind of program, some kind of events going on. They had blocked the whole area so that public are not able to enter it. That happened, and then I had to wait a few more weeks again for all this to be gone so that I can go back and do the remaining filming.
And people always pressuring him, asking him, when's the movie coming out? When's the movie coming out? And I remember him saying something particular, and I can really appreciate that what he doesn't want is to see something on screen and say, could have done better. You know, that is a bit of a heartbreaking thing. It's like, you know, you've designed a house and it's like you didn't plan it properly and there's no way to redo it. You know, it's out there, it's constructed, it's done, it's, you know, for sale, and, you know, you're missing something. I'm sure, you know, he has that mentality.
Yes, I agree that the film has taken a lot of time for it to be completed, and I can understand people's frustrations, especially my actors and crew members. And I cannot explain everything to everyone why it had happened. I do apologize for that. I personally believe that anything good takes time, and I'm sure, pretty much sure that it is going to be something worth waiting for.
Very challenging project. Something like this requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, and if someone is willing to put that in, then only those can actually make it successful. And Romie is doing this for some time now.
Many times you have to sacrifice a lot of things for the filming purpose, for it to look good, for it to look natural. For example, in one of the songs, there's a part where I show my head is completely shaven. It had to be properly shaved, like a real shave, for that particular shot. So I had to do that. I had to sacrifice my hair only for that couple of seconds long shot.
Action. Arrest my case. Quiet, guys. Quiet. Rolling. Action.
When you're on outside locations and you're running out of time, you want things to be done pretty fast because the sun's going to set, the weather's going to become bad. So basically you are under stress. At that time you cannot always be nice to people. At times you have to be harsh in order for things to be done in a nice way.
Frame চলে আসবে বুঝা যায় না আচ্ছা ওকে হ্যাঁ বল এখন আছে না না বুঝা যায় না থাকতে পারবে না আপনি একটু কানে লাগান তো দেখেন হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ প্লিজ স্ক্রিম Okay. No, we didn't need a scream. Okay. Just take that shot. Okay, take the shot. So,
the best thing or the exciting thing about acting is that you get to be whoever you want to be or whatever you want to be, which is not possible in reality. It's not possible in real life. So this is what actually something that really excites me when it comes to acting.
In terms of whether or not I felt I could fit into the character, it's not a role I've played before, and for me it was really important to have the opportunity to play a character that I hadn't played before. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I first joined the production, but I think the great thing was that I was given an opportunity to kind of put my input into how I felt the character should be. So I was given an opportunity to put my input into that, which was really exciting. And as you can clearly see, I look nothing like my character. So it was extremely exciting for me to almost, create this character where I could play dress up with the whole cloak, the makeup, and it was probably the most exciting role that I've played to date.
One of the keys to success in this field is the self-control. I have seen many people with big ambitions in this field getting destroyed due to the lack of their self-control. Self-control, self-discipline is very important in this field. I know it's difficult, but for your own benefit, for your own success, you've got to do it somehow, anyhow.
Ore Mola, pare koro, ore Mola, haath dharo, ore Mola, pare koro, ore Mola, haath dharo, ore Mola.
I wish Romie Ali all the best for his film Jinniya.
আশায় থাকলাম কবে এটা রিলিজ হবে, দেখবো ইনশাল্লাহ, এবং আই থিঙ্ক খুব ভালো একটা ছবি হবে এবং এর সফলতা কামনা করি। বেস্ট অফ লাক মিস্টার রমি আলী।
And I would like everyone to come and watch the film, because Romie Ali has been working on this movie for the last 3 or 4 years.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you will love it to bits. So keep your eyes peeled for Jinniya to come out.
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to watching it with everybody.
It was really exciting, and it was good to work with like-minded people and I'm really excited about you all coming to see this finished product.